Okay, here's the script's opening, tailored for the Canadian audience and focused on the evolving relationship within NATO under shifting political landscapes. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the middle of a family squabble, where everyone has a different idea of how things should be done? That's kind of what it feels like these days when we look at Canada's position within NATO, especially with political winds shifting both here and south of the border. We're a founding member of this transatlantic alliance, a cornerstone of our foreign policy for decades. But the ground beneath our feet seems less certain than it used to. It's not just about budgets and military spending, though. That's definitely part of it. It's about differing visions of what NATO is for and how Canada fits into that evolving picture. Think about it. For generations, Canadians have grown up with the idea of NATO as a bulwark against global instability, a shield against potential threats. It's woven into our understanding of international relations, a constant in a world of change. But now, we're seeing challenges to that established order, questions about burden sharing, and even debates about the very purpose of the alliance in the 21st century. These aren't just abstract political arguments. They have real-world implications for our security, our economy, and our place on the world stage. The relationship between Canada and the United States is arguably the most important bilateral relationship we have. It's complex, multifaceted, and deeply intertwined. And while we often see eye to eye, particularly on issues of trade and security, there are also significant differences in our approaches to foreign policy, our values, and our priorities. This becomes particularly apparent when you consider the personalities and political ideologies of leaders like Justin Trudeau and, potentially, a returning Donald Trump. Their contrasting leadership styles and visions for the future could create friction within NATO, testing the strength of the alliance and forcing Canada to navigate some pretty tricky waters. We're not just talking about a potential clash of egos, eh? We're talking about fundamental disagreements on issues like climate change, trade agreements, and military spending. These disagreements can have a ripple effect, impacting everything from our ability to cooperate on joint security operations to our influence within international forums. It raises the question, can Canada maintain its commitment to NATO while also staying true to its own values and priorities, even when those values and priorities clash with those of our closest ally? This isn't just a political drama playing out on the world stage. It's a conversation about our identity as Canadians, our role in the world, and the kind of future we want to build. Are we willing to compromise on our values to maintain our alliances? Or are we prepared to stand our ground, even if it means facing isolation or criticism? These are tough questions, and there are no easy answers. But they're questions that we need to be asking ourselves as we navigate this uncertain future. So, let's dive into the heart of the matter and explore the complexities of Canada's relationship with NATO, the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, and what it all means for the future of our country. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but hopefully, by the end of it, we'll have a clearer understanding of where we stand and where we're headed. So, let's rewind a bit and look at how this whole NATO thing started, eh? It wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a direct response to the post-World War II landscape, with the Soviet Union flexing its muscles and the threat of communist expansion looming large. Canada, having played a significant role in the war, recognized the need for collective security. We weren't about to go it alone, especially with the memories of the Depression still fresh in our minds, and the understanding that international cooperation was key to preventing future conflicts. The idea behind NATO was simple. An attack on one is an attack on all. It was a powerful deterrent, a clear message to any potential aggressor that messing with one member meant facing the combined might of the entire alliance. For Canada, it provided a sense of security, knowing that we had the backing of powerful allies like the United States and the United Kingdom. It also gave us a seat at the table, a voice in shaping international security policy. Now, think about the political climate back then. Prime Minister Louis Saint Laurent, a liberal, played a crucial role in the negotiations leading up to the North Atlantic Treaty. He saw it as a way to balance Canada's relationship with the U.S., preventing us from becoming too reliant on our southern neighbor. Mind you, there was debate at home, too. Some folks, particularly on the left, worried about getting entangled in Cold War rivalries and questioned the wisdom of joining a military alliance. But ultimately, the government decided that the benefits outweighed the risks. Furthermore, consider the economic dimension. Joining NATO wasn't just about military security, it was also about economic stability. The Marshall Plan, designed to rebuild Europe after the war, was closely linked to NATO. By fostering economic growth and cooperation, the alliance aimed to create a more stable and prosperous world, one less susceptible to the appeal of communism. Canada, with its abundant natural resources and growing industrial base, played a key role in this economic recovery. Of course, NATO has evolved considerably since its inception. The Cold War ended, the Soviet Union collapsed, and new threats emerged, like terrorism and cyber warfare. The alliance has had to adapt to these changing circumstances, expanding its membership and taking on new missions, from peacekeeping operations in the Balkans to counter-terrorism efforts in Afghanistan. Through it all, Canada has remained a steadfast member, contributing troops, resources, and expertise to the alliance's various endeavors. That said, as we move forward, the core question remains: how do we maintain the spirit of collective security in a world that looks drastically different from the one that birthed NATO? How do we ensure that the alliance remains relevant and effective in the face of new challenges, while also staying true to our own values and priorities as Canadians? Okay, so if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, what do we see? It's like we've been building a puzzle, piece by piece. We started with the initial question of Canada's place in NATO, especially with potential shifts in the political landscape. Then we looked at the historical context, how the alliance came to be and Canada's role in its formation. Now, as we gather these insights, a clearer picture starts to emerge, although it's not necessarily a simple one. Think of it like this: NATO is like a canoe, and Canada is one of the paddlers. We've been paddling in the same direction for a long time, but now some of the other paddlers seem to want to change course, or at least paddle at a different pace. The question is, how do we keep the canoe moving forward without capsizing? How do we ensure that everyone is pulling their weight and that we're all heading towards the same destination? Indeed, it's more than just keeping the peace, It's about sharing values and responsibilities. It's about upholding a certain vision of the world, one based on democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. But what happens when those values are challenged, either from within or from without? What happens when some members of the alliance seem to be pulling in a different direction, prioritizing their own interests over the collective good? Keeping in mind all we've covered, it's clear that Canada's role in NATO is not just about military spending or troop deployments. It's about our identity as a nation, our commitment to international cooperation, and our vision for a more peaceful and prosperous world. It's about finding a way to balance our responsibilities to the alliance with our own values and priorities. And that, my friends, is no easy task. Looking ahead, it's clear that Canada faces some tough choices. We need to be prepared to defend our interests and uphold our values, even when it means disagreeing with our allies. We need to be willing to engage in difficult conversations and to find common ground where we can. And we need to be ready to adapt to a changing world where the threats and challenges are constantly evolving. So, with all of that swirling around, what's the final verdict? So, after all that, what's the real takeaway, It's not about whether Canada will stay aligned with NATO. That's pretty much a given our history and our commitment to collective security. The real question is how we stay aligned, and on what terms. It's about navigating a complex and ever-changing landscape, staying true to our values, and ensuring that our voice is heard. Think of it like this. Canada is like a quiet but determined player in a hockey game. We might not always be the flashiest or the most aggressive, but we're reliable, we're skilled, and we know how to play as part of a team. We bring something unique to the table. Our commitment to diplomacy, our focus on multilateralism, and our ability to bridge divides. And that's something NATO desperately needs right now. Now, consider the future. The world is becoming increasingly multipolar, with new powers rising and old alliances being tested. Canada needs to be prepared to navigate this new reality, to forge new partnerships, and to adapt to changing circumstances. This means investing in our military, yes, but it also means investing in our diplomacy, our development assistance, and our ability to project our values on the world stage. Keeping all of this in mind, it's clear that Canada's relationship with NATO is not just a matter of foreign policy. It's a reflection of who we are as a nation. It's a statement about our values, our priorities, and our vision for the future. And as we move forward, it's crucial that we have a national conversation about what that vision should be, and how we can best achieve it, both within NATO and beyond. Reflecting on this journey, it becomes clear that the true test isn't just about maintaining alliances, but about shaping them. Canada's challenge and its opportunity lies in helping to redefine NATO's purpose for the 21st century, ensuring it remains a force for peace, security, and the promotion of shared values in a world that desperately needs them. So, the real work starts now, eh? It's up to us, as Canadians, to engage in this conversation, to hold our leaders accountable, and to ensure that our voice is heard on the world stage.